It's hearing it, but why can't I hear it?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, fuck me. What's going on now? Capture device.
You're just praising the new tech. Now it's fucked up.
No, this is me. This is on my side.
Hmm.
It's not coming across.
It just came up to me though that we went live. If that makes you feel any better, it just like right now popped up that we're live.
I think they can hear us.
Whatever. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. We're just doing our thing
Figuring
here.
out the music.
Trying to figure out how to get you some music.
We good though.
Stand by. Sting.
Yeah, Ship right here. Mixer head right here. All right, thanks. Thanks, Ship.
Appreciate
It's cool
you.
though. I love it. I love how people got our backs, dude. It's awesome. What's up, John Lupo? Keith Barlow, what's going on, man? We got this shit. We're rocking.
Yeah,
Fuck,
man.
might as well just not even play the intro, dude. Might as well just go.
I know.
Music. Well, fuck it.
I know. No. I'm trying to get some music here, but that's all right. Y'all getting a quick behind the scenes of how we make the sausage here.
I don't know about no sausage.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, it's Radar.
It's Radar and CQ.
Get ready for our fucking YouTube channel.
Doing what we do behind the scenes. Why is always something? Let's see here.
Start singing for the music. Y'all don't want me to sing. That is no.
Go for it. It's all you, buddy.
It's the last thing anybody wants.
All right.
I'm more of a dancer, not a singer.
Not picking up my.
Whatever. We'll just power through, man.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Joe Master said we're holding steady at 4 knots, dude. We're good. Just...
we're rolling steady.
We'll be all right.
Is it? Hey, there's some music.
Hey. Oh, that was me doing my microphone. I'm new here.
I don't want you guys to hear us though in the background, so I'm trying to figure that out as well.
We'll be all right.
Well, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing up early. There's no formation. There's like a cookie and stuff.
Yeah, they can hear music now.
Oh, yes, that's unfortunate. We're better than music.
Another 2 minutes here, and we'll be going live, folks. Bear with us.
Hanson, like the group. Old group Hanson, old Jim Handy. Today's what earlier standard.
All right. Gonna have to figure that out. When we go to break, we're gonna have to remember.
I don't remember nothing. You got it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. 1 more minute while I mess around here.
See, I'm all early tonight, so I'm all like ready to go. Usually I'm like sitting down right about now. I think you're weird. Have you figured out the new Xbox Live yet? I haven't even looked at that. Like, it's free, but it's not. It just came out of my shit. Just paid for it.
We'll touch on that. I can't. Huh. Give me 1 minute as I prep this.
Well, you got about 15 fucking seconds, so
Be with you folks here in a second.
there's no controversial hot mic thing. We're not controversial at all. If there was, nobody would care. Nobody would care about my opinion. Free games for Xbox Live would be free forever. Alright, Jim. Yeah, that's right, John. Bro, kick back. Do the show. It'll be a good one.
All right, here we go.
Oh, all right. Fuck it.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Wait up.
Don't even got the show sound intro. Loving it. Loving it.
Forever. Just
What's
play
up,
on your-
guys?
Okay. What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Oh, my goodness. We're having our typical Tuesday night shenanigans and issues and whatnots. CQ here, as always. With me is my buddy. I guess I should do... Well, wait. Now I don't even have... Dude, I don't even have your video. Where's...
Well, why don't you have my video? I have my camera on.
Okay, yeah. No, you got your camera on. All right, well,
Yeah, that's like I thought I did.
we'll square that away.
I mean,
we'll square that away.
I was doing my OnlyFans earlier. And, so
Hey,
I thought it was sitting working.
Uh,
I didn't know.
I know what it is. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. We'll fix that as we go. I guess I should do like the normal intro. So, let's do this because I'm all out of sorts. I'm all out of sorts, folks. We're you're getting to see a peek behind the curtain of how the sausage is made. Hey guys, welcome one and all. Today's March 23rd, 2021. This is episode 49 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture, so you don't have to. I am CQ. I am the pop culture comedian, and with me, as always, is our very own Dr. Manhattan, the man who is currently not in the bubble until I fix it, the voice of the unpop cultured, Mr. Radar. Welcome back, buddy.
What's up, man?
How are you doing, man?
Yes,
You
dude. I'm
took
doing
some time
awesome.
off, man.
I know. I'm glad to be back, though.
You
I
were
needed
you were
that.
out there doing stuff,
Yeah, saving the world, man.
saving the world, man, doing it.
I don't know, but
What's up, everybody? Hey, Tyler, just got off work. Congratulations, man. We just clocked in, so I see all you guys in the chats, man. We appreciate you being here, man. Gary, Kevin, Nick, JR, Jim, John. I could just say names. Bill, Bob, Burke, Jews, Joseph, whatever. All of you, man. We love you.
Kevin, people would tell me to shut up before the game even started, dude. They're like, "Shut up, Radar." I'm like, "All right, dude.
Shut up, Radar." Oh man, God bless. Yeah, our mute button is broken, and our I okay. Admittedly, I'm gonna own it, guys. I got a new laptop. I have a two rig set up here, and I use the laptop to communicate with our boy Radar here. That's how we connect through this thing and how the thing. And so I got a new laptop. Totally forgot to download the software that connects the two. So we have his voice. Ladies and gentlemen.
They keep telling me I got the face for radio. So
Yes. So we've got your voice. next week, once I download the software on the laptop, we'll have his video as well. I'm like, why isn't it working? Oh yeah, totally. Didn't download the software. That would have helped that situation. But we're here. We're doing our thing. I want to share. Make sure that we're up and live. Okay, so we're all good. We're recording.
People are commenting on our video.
We're live.
All right.
You know, appreciate you, John. You're right. You're spot on. Okay, so quick catch up. You weren't here last week. The week before, we were both off. You saw the ending of WandaVision. Real quick recap, because for most people, it's 2 weeks. That's old news. But what'd you think of the finale? How it wrapped up?
I don't. I'm gonna say this though. I don't think there was a whole lot of surprises in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
I mean, no. It was pretty.
It kind of played out how we expected it to.
Sure.
I have questions, but I think they're going to be answered.
Well, I mean, someone was saying Mephisto and mutants and
I fucking want some mutants, dude. I'm ready for them.
Desperate for those minutes. Oh,
okay,
thanks.
Okay, me as non-pop cultured. Okay, couple questions. Vision, you think he'll be back?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Okay.
Now, what version of him and how that'll play out and all the different things regarding that? Who knows? Who's to say? But he'll be back. Without a doubt. Will he play into events soon? Probably not. Maybe not until we see Wanda again, which will be in reportedly or definitely Doctor Strange 2. Possibly Spider-Man 3, depending on how things shake loose. Because apparently everybody and their mother is in Spider-Man 3. So we'll see how that shakes loose. So yeah, no, I agree with you. Did you stay to see the two end credits?
I did.
After, which were obviously very much teasing. The first one teasing Captain Marvel 2, right? Because we had the scroll. We had the hey, a buddy of mine up there, and we know Nick Fury's up in space somewhere, so pretty obvious it was teasing Captain Marvel 2. And then the second scene with Wanda off in the cabin. At first it looks very peaceful, but then you see she's astral projection reading the Darkhold, and then she hears her children. So calling out for her from the great nether beyond. And so that's definitely teasing Doctor Strange 2, where the next time we'll probably see her. That being that,
okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
There's been some in the stuff that I've read and kind of went back and forth with, and I don't think we should get too deep into this because there has been a new show arrived.
Right.
Do you think that Wanda is going to be good or bad in the next one? Do you think she's going to kind of morph into a villain-ish type character?
That's a great question. I think one thing we haven't seen, I think the closest we've come to seeing this is Civil War, where a good character has good intention and kind of becomes the villain. And I think this would be the perfect place to do it, where she has the good, she just wants to rescue her children. She wants to get them and bring them back and make them real boys. And in doing so kind of breaks the universe or breaks the multiverse or whatever, and inadvertently becomes, maybe becomes a conduit. She messes with power she doesn't understand and gets taken over by Mephisto or Dormammu or somebody like that they kind of, use that crack to get in, and, she inadvertently becomes the villain. I don't think she'll out and outright decide like Killmonger, I'm going to be the villain. You know what I mean?
Right.
But could she be the antagonist? Absolutely. Absolutely possible. We'll see. She messes with things that she doesn't understand, and then all hell breaks loose. Literally, all hell breaks loose. So speaking of the other thing you said, new show out on Disney Plus now, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes. I'm
eager to hear your thoughts.
Well, I was kind of mad about a couple parts of it.
Okay.
Sam the shrimp boat captain.
Right.
I feel like that would have been a good segue to bring in some other well-known characters, like Forrest Gump. Like that'd be fucking tits if Forrest Gump
I
shows
don't
up
think
in
they
like a
own.
small boat.
Disney owns the rights to a lot of things. I don't think they own the Forrest Gump rights, though.
Come on, okay, like make it. I don't know, growers Fump. Then I don't know, like
Right.
you can't have a shrimp boat nowadays and not have a Forrest Gump reference.
Right.
Just saying.
Sure.
Secondly, I'm really glad that Marvel has expanded their character base to include somebody with Down syndrome to play the new Captain America. That was really good on them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that dude is getting so much hate.
I know that was very unpolitically correct. Sorry about it. But not too much because the guy looks very not Captain America like, and I think that was probably on purpose. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, let me ask you this though,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously, like Sam was up for that role, right?
Mm-hmm. The torch was passed to him.
Yes. Why do you think he honestly didn't take it?
I think it goes back. They're playing at the scene where he gets the shield, and Cap says to him, "How does it feel?" The first words he says are, "It feels like someone else's." I feel that he doesn't feel whether it be worthy or like that this is his to carry. It's a tough thing. I feel like he knows as a man of color, like the history of how people that aren't, white male, how have they been treated. So I'm sure part of it is like, I don't want to be the symbol. I don't feel like I can live up to. I mean, realistically, could you live up to a super soldier when you're just a dude with wings? Like,
I mean, he's a little bit more than a dude with wings.
Sure, absolutely. He's an Avenger through and through. But yes, when you have the literal embodiment of the super man, like, how could you just be like, "Yep, I got this"? It's literally like Thor comes down. He's like, hands you the hammer. He's like, "You got it. You're now the god of thunder," and you're just like, okay, like what? So, yeah, I think that.
But he's kind of done that though. From what I'm
Mm-hmm.
the vibe that we're getting from the MCU right now is there's a lot of torch passing going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So when you have someone like Captain America hand you the fucking shield and says, "This is yours now, go do it." Nah, this ain't mine. Sorry about it. I'm just gonna hang it up.
You nut up and you do it.
You fucking nut up and do it. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I know people who, like, you get promoted to sergeant. You're like, man, I'm not ready to be a sergeant, but you fucking become one and you go with it, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, dude. Like, you fucking step on that shit and go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's a big step. You got to think. Where Iron Man was the backbone of the Avengers. He was the brain of the Avengers. Captain America is the heart. He's the moral compass, the soul of the Avengers. That's a big role to step into.
Yeah, but he did.
But that
Cap's not dead.
I mean, we don't know. I mean,
he wasn't a little bit ago. He wasn't a couple days ago, right? So I don't think he's dead yet.
Here's the thing. I definitely think, come the end of this series, Falcon steps into the role. This is just a Hail Mary prediction. He steps into the role and becomes the new Captain America, and a flying Captain America, if you will. There's obviously history in the comic books where Falcon picked up the mantle, and he was basically Falcon in red, white, and blue with a shield. And there's also a history of Winter Soldier picking up the mantle, and he became Captain America with a metallic arm and the shield. So there is
which kind of, I mean, okay. Captain America, we don't need to go too far into this, but dude had he was actually had superpowers, not just some fucking bolt-on wings and a little jet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, Bucky's got some shit. Like, he's actually pretty tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might be a better fit.
No,
either way. Okay, so I'm assuming now, because they kind of had a separate story in the first episode. and we're doing some spoilers. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
But they had a very separate life coming into this.
Yep.
So episode 2, they kind of join forces. Is this where this is
I'm
going?
I'm sure at some point there is going to be a switch is going to flip, right? Some universal cosmic, occurrence happens, and I don't mean that in the literal sense, but something happens that forces them to come together. Either something happens with Bucky and Falcon has to go kind of save him, or Falcon is in a spot and Bucky has to save him. I don't know, something. I think the chats are spot on. Mike says they have to build up his acceptance of it and stepping into that role. Scott says I don't think he wants to follow in someone else's path, but create his own. Good, fair point. Gary, could he take a hit like Cap could? That's a good point. Cap went blow to blow with Thanos. Fucking Falcon takes a hit from Thanos, his whole body probably explodes. So, who knows?
Yeah, but they're different people and they have different quote unquote fighting styles. I'm not going to get into all that, but I mean, like the way that, then that's why I'm kind of leaning towards him not being the best kid from America. Like, come on, Bucky, step the fuck up. But also, I mean, I don't know. It's very, I'm not going to say confusing to me. It's not that. It's just where I'm trying in my little brain to figure out where they want to go with this, and like kind of have, 3 episodes into WandaVision, you kind of see where they wanted to go with this and really get into their storyline and all of the things, and maybe there was some, I really wanted some mutants to show up, they didn't, but that's whatever. But I mean, you get into this now, like, are they building up this storyline, and where, because we all knew from the beginning where Wanda was going at the end. We knew she was going to she was going into the multiverse of madness and Doctor Strange and all that stuff, but they haven't really said where this is going.
This series doesn't have kind of a jumping to point.
It's not a bridge to somewhere else, like, and so I guess where, I mean, and obviously we need some more kind of information to see, where everything fits and where it's going and all of the things, but it kind of doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, well, there's as a guy who's read the comics and a guy who knows the lore really well, there's hints in the episode of kind of where things are going, who's been introduced, what roles they'll play in the future. But I'm not going to spoil it, because for those that just want to enjoy the show, we'll talk about the episodes after they happen. I don't want to, spoil anything for the future. But I'm interested to see where it goes. Mike says, what's the deal with the masked dude that punched the Air Force guy across the street? Yeah, that is obviously an enhanced individual, right? I have some theories. I think that it can play into, we know it in Incredible Hulk. We knew that General Ross was trying to kind of restart the super soldier serum program, and so it could be some type of offshoot of that. There's a guy. So this group is called the Flag Smashers, which in the comic books there was not an anti-hero. There was a rogue for Captain America called the Flag Smasher, and so it could kind of be a reference of him and his power set. So yeah, we don't really know yet. There's not a lot about him. It could be just kind of rogue guys with superpowers, or it could mean something in the long run. The thing that I'm most excited about, and I don't know if I want to spoil. It's not a spoiler because this is a guess. So this is a guess. If you don't want to hear about what could possibly happen in the future, I'll give you 2 seconds. You can mute me for the next couple minutes, but all right, go. So there are enough hints in there that I think this could be a real thing, in that we're going to learn Captain America isn't the original super soldier. There was a time in the comic books where it was found out before they tried it on Steve Rogers, there was a previous test subject, right? And in those days, it was, I don't want to say it was cool to do it, but it was, they experimented on people of color, people that didn't mean anything, that had no value, right? So there's apparently a black guy who's the original Captain America. He was the original super soldier. he was experimented on before they, what do you want to call it, finalized the serum. So he was one of the many, black people that they tested on. He was the only one that survived, and he was the only one that got powers. And then the super soldier serum that Steve gets is derived from that formula. And so I think that would be such a crazy cool way to tie into all this, into the mythos of Captain America, into, because you see they're talking about a little bit of racial injustice, right? They kind of, toying around with the idea that, because you're a black family, you can't get the loan, this and this and that. And so, and for him to say, well, look, I'm a black guy, I can't live into Captain America's shadow. Imagine finding out that, well, the original super soldier is this black guy, and he's somewhere out there just living a peaceful life, but he's he can also lift up a bus, you know what I mean, or something like that. But I think that'd be super cool for them to play into. There's a couple just tiny references that could allude to that, or they could completely be meaningless, and I'm just reading into the fine print like we did with WandaVision. But just say
we didn't do that. You did that. I thought there was going to be fucking zombies and mutants and all kinds of fun shit.
All types of stuff. All right. So the last thing I wanted to touch on before we get into, news headlines is Justice League, the Snyder Cut. What? And I know we talked about it. You said you haven't seen it.
No, I have not.
You did see the original Justice League, though.
Yeah.
The original cut, and I did watch it. I did watch the 4-hour cut of Justice League Snyder Cut. I have some thoughts. Now, I want to caveat this. If you like the movie, awesome. If you didn't like the movie, awesome. It's an individual experience. You can't. This is my own personal take on it, and it is without a doubt better than the original cut of Justice, the Joss Whedon cut of what they call it, the Justice League, right? Because it was Joss Whedon's cut, the Justice League. It's absolutely better than the Justice League, but it's also hard to compare because you're comparing a 2-hour movie to a 4-hour movie. So it's really, it's like saying Infinity War / Endgame is better than, Iron Man. Well, yeah, of course, because it's got a ton more. That being said, I still think there are some things that don't make sense. I literally, I took pages of notes as I watched this 4-hour thing. I'm not gonna share all. I'm not gonna share all my thoughts.
I'm not gonna share my 4 hours worth of notes.
But
I'm not a fucking college class, dude.
But yes, I'm gonna cite my sources. There was just certain things that I didn't understand. So there's a great scene. It was in the original cut where Wonder Woman stops the bank robbery. This is they blew it up and like way expanded on it. There's a lot more footage to it. A lot of things I'll say about it. I won't say about it. But specifically, there's a bomb and it's counting down from like 12 seconds. She's able to disarm and neutralize 7 of the 8 bad guys in what amounts to 4 seconds. Okay, cool. She's fast. Got it. She disarms them. She with little 0 collateral damage. No one is injured outside the bad guys. No damage to the structure. She then flies up through the ceiling to get rid of the bomb. Okay, you have to do that. She just blew a giant hole in the building to get rid of the bomb. Cool. She then lands, and the bad guy goes, well, screw it. I'm going to execute all the hostages. Proceeds to unload an entire clip into these hostages. She's fast enough. She blocks all of them. Okay, cool. We're tracking. Me and you, we're tracking. Mm-hmm. She then now has disarmed 7 of the 8 bad guys, disarmed the bomb, protected the people. He's out of bullets. He has no more bullets. She could wink at the guy and he's neutralized. Instead, she chooses to do her ultimate move, smashing her little bracelets together, and blows up half the building to take down what is essentially an unarmed man the threat has been neutralized. And let me tell you, there's no way that guy wasn't liquefied. If the blast was big enough to destroy the building behind him, That dude was liquefied, which she just did in front of a bunch of little kids, by the way. She did this with an audience of children watching. The It's mind-blowing to me. Now, does it look epic? Absolutely. Cinematography, it was phenomenal. But in realistically, for a moment, she destroyed half the building, murdered a man who was no threat, did it in front of a group of children, probably scarring them forever, and there was like police outside. That building blew shrapnel clear across the street. I mean, who knows how many injured people were on the street, the police and whatnot. And then walks out of there like, yes, I totally saved the day. Like, what? Whatever. The other thing is so much slow motion. So much slow motion. In fact, I clocked it. In a 4-hour movie, there are 24 minutes of slow motion. 24 minutes of slow motion. That equates to, of the runtime, 10.35% of the movie is in slow motion. That is insanity. Insanity. Where do you get he loves his slow motion. I get it. And it looks stunning, but it's just too much. And again, there are parts of the movie that are improved. I'm just kind of pointing out the things that I just were just so wow, just what? If they had with bad guys are always dumb in movies, but they had mind reading technology. They have a little spider bot that you just put it on their face and it shows you what they know, and yet he spends a good portion of the movie interrogating people. Tell me what you know, and I'm like, just do the spider thing. If you've got the thing, just do the spider thing.
The spider pig.
Yes, spider pig. Just one last thing. I'll say one last thing. Is again, if you're gonna establish rules, and I've always said this, if you're gonna establish rules in a movie, be consistent. Follow the rules. In one scene, you have Aquaman swimming at supersonic speed. He leaves a burst when he swims away. And then you have the fight scene between him and Steppenwolf underwater, and they look like two dudes having a fight scene underwater. Boom, boom. And it's not in slow motion, they're just fighting underwater. And it's if you could swim at supersonic speed, you should swim punch him. Speed swim punch him or whatever. It just I don't know, man. It's a little inconsistent, man. And the last thing I'll say. We know, everyone knows, Batman doesn't kill. Yes or no? That's his rule. Now, Superman broke that rule in Man of Steel, whatever, and this is the grittier, edgier take, but whatever. Batman doesn't kill. That's his thing. At one point in the movie, we find out that the parademons, the evil army being released upon them, are basically brainwashed civilians of conquered planets. This guy goes to a planet, conquers it, and basically forces people to be part of his parademon army. And in this movie, they kill a shit ton of them. So it boggles my mind that Batman won't kill a serial rapist who's murdered children. No, that guy's got to go to jail. But some alien who was abducted from their own planet and forced into slavery to be part of a parademon, no, they squish them bugs. They get their punch cards punched. So yeah, just little things like that. I don't know. I'll get off my high horse now. Was it a better movie? Yes, it was better. Did they do justice? Pun intended. For certain characters, yeah, man. Flash got some better scenes, although he was a bit creepy in the one with the iris scene. He's basically slow motion because he's super fast, so he's basically slow motion molesting Iris West, she's falling and he's caressing her face, and she cannot give consent if you're moving faster than everything else. You know, so the fact that he's caressing her in super slow mo just felt creepy. Um, you know, it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Sorry, I had to get it all out. I had to get it all. Is it worth a watch? I mean, sure. It's worth just seeing what they did with it because there's some, you know, I mean, Justice League was a bad movie. It was a bad movie. It was just I butchered it to anybody who would listen to me talk about it when it came out. This is a much better movie. It is a much better movie. Still some things that are a little wonky and a reveal of Martian Manhunter out of nowhere for no reason. Like, all right, cool, whatever. There's a scene tacked on at the end with the Joker and the future nightmare. Sure, cool, man. It's worth to see, you know, what they did. I think they intended to do it like a mini series where it was released in 6 parts, and then someone just said, you know what, screw it, release it all together. So 4-hour marathon watch is really hard to do. I even had to take a break during it. But all that said, it's worth it. The thing that bothers me about this now is what Warner Brothers is doing and how they're trying to like take advantage of the situation, because you had the theatrical release. Okay. Now you had the Justice League Snyder cut. Okay. Now they're talking about releasing the Justice is Gray edition, where it's another cut, potentially longer, in black and white of this movie with alternate scenes. And it's like, come on. How many times are you going to re-release the same movie? Like, and especially because they're done with it. Warner Brothers has basically said, all right, you know, Zack Snyder's done. He's not doing any more Justice League stuff. This universe is basically, they're writing it off. Which, again, so many questions about how this is going to work, because we know the Shazam universe is tied into this, and they're doing a sequel of that, and then they're doing a spin-off of the Shazam universe with the Black Adam movie, which starts filming in 3 weeks. And so to say that, like, this Snyderverse is done, but, you know, that I don't know. I don't know how to make heads or tails of it, because what is canon, what is not canon, because in this version of the movie, you know, Cyborg's dad dies, and in the other version he lives, and in this version Darkseid's coming, and in the other one nobody knows, and like there's just so much. There's so much. It's hard to keep up. They just keep saying he was one more test subject. Moving faster than the speed of consent. Yes, Scott. In this Flash scene, he was moving faster than the speed of consent. 100%. That is without a doubt. So anyway, that was my my review, if you want to call it, of the Justice League Snyder cut. Is it worth a watch, man? If you got 4 hours to kill, go for it.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, then.
Yeah.
Thank you for not making me waste my time watching that bullshit.
You're not the first person to tell me that. You're literally today. You're not the first person to tell me that.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, we kind of go through and like we'll talk about, hey, we should watch this together so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, thank you for not. Be like, dude, you should really watch this so we can like.
I wouldn't do that to you, man.
Dude, I'd have been so mad. I would be like, no, I'm never fucking doing this show ever again, because he's gonna want to talk about.
I would never do that to you, man. I have too much respect for you to put you through that kind of torment. But okay, so moving on to some let's do movie news. Let's see if the sound effects work, but not at all. I'm gonna have to fix that too. Awesome. Nothing is working. Moving on to some movie news. Actually, something cool, and this actually happened a couple weeks ago, but we never got a chance to talk about it, so I just wanted to talk about it real quick. We know Spider-Man 3 has been filming. We didn't know what the title would be, and over the course of 3 days, they were really punking, you know, they were really trolling the audience, because Tom Holland released a graphic, and it said Spider-Man Home Slice was going to be the name of the movie. And then Zendaya, who's also in the movie, she released an image, and it said Spider-Man Homewrecker was going to be the name of the movie. And then I forget the kid's name that plays Ned, his best friend. He released a thing, and it was like Spider-Man Phone Home or can't go home or can't phone home, whatever. So they kept releasing different images, like, oh, this is the official name of the title. But they wouldn't tell us what the name of the movie is. And then, oh man, see, I want to play a video for you guys, and I don't think it'll work. So let me just see if it'll work.
I don't think it'll work.
Let's see if it'll work. I don't think it's gonna work.
All right, so?
Gave us a fake name again.
Not shocked.
I don't know if you
I
guys
just
can
don't
hear it.
understand why he keeps doing this.
You don't understand?
I feel like it's pretty obvious to just spoil things.
I don't spoil things.
Your thing is
Name
to
me
spoil.
one thing that I've actually...
Name of the movie, only in movie theaters, they say, this Christmas. The joke is, he comes out of the director's office and he's like, no, turns out none of those names were real, and playing on the trolling they did. And then he's like, why can't he just tell us? And he's like, well, we're terrible at keeping secrets. And then they walk past the board that says Spider-Man No Way Home. And so, it's definitely, been teased that this is going to be a multiverse movie, and all these different things. But all we know for now is title's No Way Home, and it'll be coming out soon. So that was pretty cool. I like the way they revealed it.
I have the same shirt he was wearing at that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I found X or whatever. Yeah,
Nice.
I have the same shirt. I hate that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you trying to say you're Spider-Man? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Totally not. Totally not.
'Cause if I was, I'd tell you.
You're terrible at keeping secrets. So yeah. This is news, literally breaking news today. And part of me is happy, part of me is sad. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Here's an image for you guys. Black Widow has been delayed again.
No.
Moving it from May to July 9th. But for those that might be into this kind of thing, it sounds dirty.
White Widow.
Right, White Widow. The announcement also said not just in theaters, also on Disney Plus. So we will actually get to watch Black Widow at home, day and date. Now you will need the Disney Plus Premier Access, meaning they'll probably charge you $30 to see it at home. But if you want to go to the theaters, or you're able to go to the theaters, you can safely go to the theaters. You've been inoculated and vaccinated, and you can go to the theaters. Go see it in theaters, man. That's where you're gonna get the true experience. But for those that it's not safe for them to do, here you go. Disney Plus at home, day and date, July 9th, with the conditional, it's probably $29.99, I'm assuming. They don't have an announcement yet, but it's going to require Disney Plus Premier Access. There you go. Black Widow is coming July 9th. What do you think, Red? Are you come July 9th, are you a in theaters guy, or are you going to watch it at home guy?
Generally, I'm a watch it at home guy. Theaters suck, but the one here does, and I'm not even sure it's gonna be open then. Right. I do like how there's options, because there are people who really, really want to see that in the theater, and there are people like me who fucking hate people, and I don't want to be around anybody, and I don't know, have somebody coughing their Rona all over my back and shit. No, fuck that. Sorry about it. I'll just stay at home and watch it. But legit, let's be serious now.
Right.
I do like how that is now an option, and how I really do think that even as restrictions kind of ease up, that's going to be an option for some films. Maybe not like the God. I have to believe that's going to be a pretty big fucking show, though.
I mean,
you know what I mean? That's going to be a pretty big movie.
They've been pushed. I mean, we're now well past a year, when it should have came out, and they were really hoping to get this on the big screen. You got to feel for Scarlett Johansson, right? She's done this character since Iron Man 2, which was in 2010, 2011. So she's done this character for over 10 years. Finally gets her standalone superhero movie, and it's like, man, it's on demand. It went straight to on demand,
Right. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
No. I mean, if you enjoy the movie, you enjoy the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that I am kind of mad I'm not mad. I don't really give that much of a shit. But you're right. It has been way too long. I think she more than deserves her own show.
Sure.
But also, do you think she's losing any sleep over it?
I mean, she got paid.
She got paid.
You know,
she's getting paid either way. And I really do. I think that, God, I really do think that's I think it's going to be going that way. I really do, dude. I really think that
for the time being.
I think it'll be forever. I really do. Because if everyone gets $30, to see it, that's not bad. And I don't know how much they make off a theater experience. If you take the wife to the movies and you each buy a ticket, I don't know how much that actually gets back to Disney. Right. You know what I mean? So they may actually make more money. Disney may in that aspect. God, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I know that you're a big theater guy and you like going to the theater and and then, but to me that's just not. I've never been that.
Yeah.
I think I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not like fuck all them theaters. I hope they close down. I hope they don't.
Right.
But it's just not a lure to me. And someone said, Jim Haney was like, "I hope if you're watching home guy, I hope you get a sound system." Dude, I'm deaf. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's all wah, 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 wah. Anyway. So and then ringing. So what does it matter? Honestly.
Yeah.
No, but he just have a good point. Like, it's something that everyone's kind of, I don't know, say allowed to do, but why not?
Yeah.
Why fight it? Kind of. That's kind of I think it's kind of the way of the future, dude. I really do.
I mean, I agree. I agree that it's tough because if you would have said 20 years ago, like, oh, everybody's going to have a supercomputer in their pocket, you'd be like, oh, you're crazy. And then 10 years ago, if you said, yeah, we won't use CDs or DVDs or everything's going to be streaming, via from the cloud, you're crazy. So to say today, like, oh, for sure there's going to be movie theaters and they'll never go away. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, it very well possibly the future could be that movie theaters are a thing of the past. It's sad to me because there's something to be said of the spectacle of going to the movie theater and seeing it on this massive screen that your brain can barely comprehend. The characters are literally 20 feet tall. And the prices are ridiculous and all the seats are sticky and all these different things. But I'm like, for me growing up, that was kind of part of the experience was that, or even have memories, sneaking into a theater or sneaking into an R-rated movie when you're underage. Like, it's part of the experience. It's part of that. Getting the bucket of popcorn or your favorite snack, and I know, I always get the slushy, man. The little soda, icy thing, and that's just part of the experience. And I would hate to see it go. As much as at home, I have a big 120-inch projector HD 7.2 surround sound setup. Like, I can watch very comfortably in this lovely spread out couch. But at the same time, like, it doesn't stack up to the movie experience. Something about I'll never forget being in the theater watching Endgame. The moment Cap picks up the hammer and the fucking auditorium exploded with people screaming. Like I get goosebumps. You can't see it, but I'm like legit. My hairs are standing on edge because that feeling is something you're not gonna like. As epic as it would be seeing that for the first time at home, there's just something about seeing it with the crowd and seeing it on the big screen and with the crazy sound system they have. It's just something about it, man, that I don't. I hope it never goes away. I hope it never.
I hope it doesn't. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not like anti-theaters. I'm not. I don't know.
You're right. The future is digital. The future is streaming. The future is.
But it's not just the immediate future, dude. I think there's enough space for both. I really do. I think there's enough purists, quote unquote purists, that are gonna want to watch it in a theater. And I think there is enough fans of especially a movie like this, right? There's enough Marvel fans that there's enough feeding. There's enough whatever. I don't know how you want to say it. There's enough scrap to go around for each
right.
And for them, Disney's going to make their money. They're not dumb. Disney's making that cash, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if I want to watch Scarlett Johansson like take a shower on my couch instead of watching in a theater or whatever she's gonna do. She doesn't just take a shower.
That's
You know what I mean? Like,
wrong kind of movie. Wrong kind of movie.
damn it.
Nick says in the chat, just wait until your kid takes over that amazing system to watch Paw Patrol. Already done. Yep. I watch less of that system. I literally use that system 2 or 3 times a year compared to everyone else in my house. Jim says, theaters do it for me. I'll never forget seeing Mortal Kombat when it first came out in theaters. Yes. One of the ones that stand out for me, Spawn. Seeing Spawn for the first time, like on the big screen. And I was just like, my brain melted. I remember like this back in the day when you'd go to the theaters and you'd get like a collectible for buying a ticket. I got the Mortal Kombat soundtrack on tape for seeing Mortal Kombat. And I think the Spawn movie gave, like, it was either a poster or a comic book or something like that. I remember it was like the happiest day of my life. I was like, oh my God, I got a thing just for going to see the thing, and loving it. And yeah, and also in the slate of things being pushed back, because Black Widow gets pushed back, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has also been delayed. That got pushed back to September 3rd. Mike says Batman Returns was the one for me. Yeah. Yes. Pete, Pokemon card from the Pokemon movie. Yeah, exactly, man. There was a time when like you'd get like these collectibles, and it was such a cool part of the experience. Like things like that you're not gonna get at home. You're just not. So that's that. So Black Widow's been delayed. Shang-Chi has been delayed. We're still gonna get a bunch of movies by the year's out because you're getting Black Widow, you're getting Shang-Chi. I think they're also releasing Spider-Man 3 will be Christmas time, and then the Eternals is in November. So you're talking like it's going to be July, then I think Loki comes out sometime in the fall, and then immediately it's Shang-Chi, and then after that it's immediately Eternals, and then right after that it's Spider-Man 3. So there's going to be a ton of Marvel content, at least for the rest of the year. What DC's up to and all that. I know we got Suicide Squad's coming and a few other things, but we got things. Things are happening. And they're coming, and hopefully Keith says I watched Star Wars at the drive-in. Hey man, wow. I'm just gonna like respect. I can't imagine what that would have been like to be there. Cruella, you're excited to see Emma Stone in Cruella? Yeah, that's another. I have a whole thing about like sequels, spin-off, reboot. There's just so many of them, and Cruella is definitely on that list. Speaking of reboots, perfect segue. Last week you missed it, but we were talking about Resident Evil the reboot. They're basically rebooting. We're rebooting the movie. And I gave the update that this is going to be a more faithful adaptation of Resident Evil 1 and 2, the video game. It's not tied to the Milla Jovovich franchise. This is completely of its own thing. We're going to get a more faithful adaptation. So the reason I'm bringing it up today is we only knew it as Resident Evil. They have officially announced the name of the movie. This live action adaptation of the original Resident Evil 1 and 2 video games is going to be called, and I don't like this. I honestly don't like the title. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. That's the name of the movie. Now, and I get what they're going for. I get it, right? You're introducing a new generation to this Resident Evil franchise. You're painting the picture that this is in Raccoon City. I just and they said they're going for a horror feel. That's what they're going for, and I just don't feel that the name, it doesn't do it for me. Like, either just call it Resident Evil, or if you could call it Resident Evil Raccoon City. You know what I mean? Like, you could do that, but this like, welcome to Raccoon City. Like, it just sounds so, I don't know. What do you think? If I told, hey, Radar, there's a movie called Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. What do you think?
Sounds dumb as fuck.
There you go. From the
both
mouth of the
like,
babes.
well, I mean,
no,
really, no, it sounds fucking stupid.
You know,
Sorry about it.
I'm very excited for this movie. Let me first say, I'm very excited for the movie. I like the cast that they have behind it. I like the writers they have it behind it. I like the director. It just the name is just I was so disappointed when I heard the name. We're gonna get Jill Valentine. We're gonna get Chris Redfield. We're gonna get Leon Kennedy. We're gonna get Claire Redfield. We're getting like all the best. Albert Wesker, was it Albert Wesker? Albert? Yeah, Albert Wesker. And last week I was saying there's a guy named Richard something, and I couldn't remember. And everybody was trying to tell me the name of Richard from the game, and y'all all wrong. I couldn't remember it either. It's Richard Aiken. He's a member of the Stars team. Richard Aiken. Richard Simmons. No, Richard Aiken is a member of the Stars team. But you're also going to have Claire, Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, Albert Wesker, William Birkin. There's just a bunch of it. There's also going to be a CGI movie feature called Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Now, see, that's a Resident Evil title to me. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. I can get behind a title like that. But that's going to be a CG, like, animated Resident Evil movie. And then there's also the Netflix Resident Evil TV show that they're doing, the series, which is another retelling of the events of Resident Evil. So, I don't know. The movie will be released September 3rd this year. September 3rd this year. So, we'll see. And everything so far, I like what they're doing. I was skeptical, like, when they were talking about the Mortal Kombat stuff, I was super skeptical. And, man, when that trailer came out, I was like, God damn. You got me. That looks good. Let's see. What else? Scott says, Resident Evil Raccoon City Outbreak. Yeah, that I could. And that leads itself to a sequel where you could do Resident Evil, something Outbreak, right? You could expand off of it. But, like, the worst thing that could happen is, like, Resident Evil 2, Welcome to, New Jack City. I don't know. Whatever they change the next one to. Just not a fan. For Mike says, is it streaming or movies only? As far as I've seen, the Resident Evil movie that's being done is theaters only, as far as I've seen. But I'm sure as we get closer to the release date, that could change. I know the Netflix series, obviously on Netflix, and the CGI one they're doing, I'd have to dig in to find out. I think that's like a direct to like a Netflix or a direct to Prime, whatever, whoever's carrying it. I think that's a direct release for them. So only the full on theatrical release one will be in theaters, supposedly. And it got me to thinking as I was reading this article. We got a few more minutes before the break, so I'll just tie up with this. As I was reading that article, I was like, how many sequels / reboots are in the make right now? And boy, howdy, is that list very long. And we've talked about, like I said earlier, Cruella, obviously Kong versus Godzilla's coming, like all these movies. A few that I saw that I hadn't seen mentioned anywhere else, I just wanted to bring up. Did you know that there is in development Ace Ventura 3 is in development? And the ironical thing about that is the writers for that are the writers from Sonic the Hedgehog. Why is that ironic? Because Jim Carrey played Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So Ace Ventura 3 is in development at Amazon. Obviously, Amazon is really trying to hit hard on nostalgia. They just released, Coming to America 2, right? The sequel of the very famous, Eddie Murphy movie. And it obviously has been very successful for them. So they must be really wanting to cash in on the nostalgia of these older movies. So they're working on Ace Ventura 3. No word yet of if Jim Carrey will be involved, although I can't imagine an Ace Ventura movie without Jim Carrey involved. The other one. Well, do you have any thoughts on that before I move on?
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Jim Handy's correct. He's better talking with his ass than he is actually. But I thought, okay, wasn't he trying to push for a while to kind of be more seen as like an actual actor?
I think for a little
more
while.
Serious actor.
For a little while, yeah.
Okay, the wife and I were talking about this the other day. And how we kind of feel nostalgic towards things like Ace Ventura or like, before memes, we just go around quote movies all day, you know what I mean? And you quote things like Office Space, or you'd quote movies, like a Jim Carrey movie or a Wayne's World or something like that, Dave Chappelle or something.
Yeah.
And I think those kind of movies, like you look at, all of that type of comedy, and Dave Chappelle's still pretty relevant. But if you look at, like Ace Ventura was funny then. Waterboy was funny then.
Right. Well, there's a whole
there's a whole genre of movies kind of from that late 90s, early 2000s
time
that were very funny then. But they're kind of, you watch them now, you're like, okay, you know what I mean? And I'm not even for whatever, but it's just, it kind of seems to be played out already. And unless they really kind of revamp that character, it's not going to be funny. And there's no type of real story to it. There's no plot to it at all.
Right.
So it's just going to be Jim Carrey making a fool of himself, which was kind of funny for a minute. But I don't know, dude. Like, it doesn't sound like a recipe for success in today's market.
Right.
No. If they kind of move towards, how do I want to say this? If they want to move towards like almost like a kids comedy, you know what I mean? You could make it that. You could kind of make Ace Ventura into something like a little funnier version of, like, I don't know, Doc McStuffins or some shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear what you're saying. And here's the thing, because even if you remember the first Ace Ventura, they hit pretty hard on the whole transgender and like LGBTQT, all that. Like, they made that like a punching bag, and that's not something that will fly in this time and age and era. So yeah, for them to do that, they would have to make him different. Like how has Ace Ventura changed to match today's society? What is him like now? It's the same way you couldn't do like a Johnny Bravo, cartoon, because it just
but see, Johnny Bravo was kind of funny.
Right. I
like,
mean, that's
his kind of, that sort of, it was almost funny in a way that he was so ignorant. Right.
He was clueless to it.
Exactly. And he was kind of that very stereotypical male chauvinist in that, and it kind of, you could almost
kind
of play that off.
So was Pepe Le Pew, and look at how that's worked out for him. People are upset over a cartoon skunk. And I get it. I totally get it, because it's like, you don't want to teach kids, like, it's okay to molest women because it's funny.
But I can hear my 10-year-old singing Wet Ass Pussy. So, I mean, there's that.
There's that too. Yeah. It's wow.
But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, and I'm not going to get down that fucking rabbit hole in this show.
Yeah.
But we're looking at, like, okay, just in the case of Ace Ventura, I wasn't a huge fan of the first two. Mm-hmm. I wasn't, and because he kind of like, that was kind of towards. It was Jim Carrey was putting out another movie every fucking 6 months, and they were all kind of garbage, and he needed to take a step back, I think. And I still haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm not gonna allude to that. But I mean, from what it was good. It was pretty decent.
Not bad.
And I'm glad at that. And same with like Adam Sandler, like, he kind of put out some garbage, and then he kind of went away for a while, and he came out, like, his Netflix special was pretty good. Right. You know what I mean? And there was some other stuff that he's done that hasn't been horrible, but the same thing. Those two guys, and there was some kind of cruise, the Saturday Night Live kind of went into too. Like, they would pump out a new movie every 4 or 5 months, and they were just put out movies to put out movies, and kind of started to suck.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, oh great, these idiots are dancing now. Ooh,
It
you know what I mean?
reminds me. Did you remember? Like, there was a short time where WWE Studios was putting out movies, like they were
Yes.
using wrestlers to put out like blockbuster movies, and it was just so like contrived and forced. But it's like, all right, yeah, I get it. You're just looking for a way to make money. But no, I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
But if he can get back into being funny, Jim Carrey knows how to be funny. He's not an unfunny person.
Mhm. It's wacky.
Just yeah, and it's almost like whatever. I don't want to see him go the path of Robin Williams.
Mm.
I'm a huge I love Robin Williams, and I don't hate Jim Carrey. I'm not going to say that I do, but I just think that he was kind of on that edge of insanity that I think kind of drove Robin Williams over the edge.
Well,
And
I mean, yeah,
I
there's
don't
part
see
of
him
that, but it was also he was like I don't know if you know, he was very sick. Yeah, he had a brain thing. Like there's a great documentary if you love Robin Williams, which I do. There's a great documentary on his final days and what he was going through and what he was battling through. A lot of people, there's a lot of confusion about like, oh, he had Parkinson's and oh, he was suicidal and depressed and all these things, but he actually had a condition that affected his mental state, and him ending his own life really was a side effect of an undiagnosed condition that they didn't find out until after his passing, which was very unfortunate because he was like hallucinating. It's tragic, man. You watch it, it's very informative but man, just heartbreaking to see what he dealt with in his final days, and not knowing. And his wife even saying, like, we were getting him help and we were getting him treatment and they couldn't figure out what it was. And, obviously they didn't figure it out until it was too late.
Right.
But anyway, needless to say, the reason I brought up the Ace Ventura 3 was all these sequels and reboots and the ones that I found fascinating. Here's another one for you. Did you ever think you'd hear me say there's a sequel in the works for Face Off? The very famous movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage exchanging faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a sequel in the works, already has a director attached, and this is not a reboot or a remake, which is what a lot of people thought when they first heard about it. This is, in fact, a sequel that takes place 10 years, 20 years, whatever, after the fact of the first movie. Again, people would say, well, didn't Nicolas Cage's character die in the first one? Yeah, but there's plenty of ways to go around that. They haven't announced how they're going to do it, or even if John Travolta and Nicolas Cage are returning, but the director went on record saying that he has a draft of the script that that it's about them. The movie's about them, and he wants them to be involved. And then obviously there's a draft of the script where they're not involved. But I think a really cool take on this would be if, you have like to follow the idea is not, you don't want to do the premise again. You don't want to swap the face thing again, but it's about these characters and how they're doing now. And you can have because of like obviously in this universe, they were able to swap faces, no problem. So there's definitely, you can stretch the imagination of what technology is there. But what if there was like almost like a religious following of Castor Troy, the bad guy from Face Off, and you have all these people taking on his face, like getting plastic surgery to look like him, like an army of him. And now you can get Nicolas Cage, let him loose and basically be Nicolas Cage 50 different ways. You know what I mean? Imagine an army of Nicolas Cages and very much like think like what's his name, McAvoy did for Split when he was doing the multiple personalities as the one person. Like it's almost like he would get to play that version where it could be Nicolas Cage 50 different ways, and I think that would be a really cool movie, and John Travolta just gets to play the hero. But yeah, so that movie is in the works. Another one. So I don't know, you guys are getting comments. I want to see that. Is it gonna be face off to face slash on? That's a that's I could go with that. Scott says an army of Nicolas Cage's is that's a meme just waiting to happen. Yes, yes, yes to all of it. What else? So okay, let me get your take on that. Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, Face Off 2, the face gets harder. I don't know. I'm just so
The face gets
the
harder.
face strikes back. What do you think? Wait, hold on. I know I the infamous Radar quote. You ready for it? Just make it good. Is that the quote?
I would like to say that, but dude. Can they? That's the thing. Fucking can they?
Can they? Is it possible that Face Off 2 could be a good movie?
I don't think so.
It sounds like a direct to video sequel. Like, remember when they would take like a really good property, like Home Alone 3. Has anybody ever heard of Home Alone 3? Totally happened. It was like a it was DVD back then, direct to VHS movie. Totally other kid, totally other family, totally other story, and it was just like you did
Kinda
just
like half the fucking
half the budget,
quarter
of the budget.
No, but like American Pie movies did that for a while.
Yeah,
too. Like,
yeah. Started like it's basically they just kept them churning them out, and the quality just got worse and worse and worse. Yeah, for sure. You know who I think started that trend was I swear to God, it was like the Olsen twins, right? Because remember they were like a big thing, and then they had like all these series of videos, and then spin off of those, and then other spin offs of that, and then spin off to the spin off to the spin offs, and
then the little sister becomes the most
the most famous,
most successful of the group,
the most real looking. That's for sure. Have you seen the Olsen twins lately? Like, no offense, they scary looking.
They kind of crackheady for a while. They look like street urchins.
Yeah, they look like it's like for some people that literally would have been the richest people for forever. They look destitute. They look like they've had some struggles, man. Let's see.
But I mean, if you look like this one, I just popped up the Olsen twins, right? And it has a picture of the three of them. And yeah, they look, I don't know, they look a little better now than they did. Mary Kate and Ashley look a little bit better now.
Yeah. I think they've gotten better.
But yeah, Elizabeth looks like the least crazy of the three. And it's weird to me too. She looks quite different in normal clothes than she does as Wanda or Scarlet Witch or whatever.
No, of course, yeah. Because you associate so much with that character that you see them in normal clothes and it's just like jarring.
Having blonde hair is kind of like one of the
that's true too.
I mean, but I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. The Olsen twins had a lot of. God, I don't. Do we want to say potential?
I don't want to. God forbid we one day get the Olsen twins on here.
To be. They were on a trajectory from a very young age to be some of the biggest stars in Hollywood.
Sure, I mean by like 6, they had more money and more videos and more merchandise than any Hollywood person ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was ridiculous, their empire. But yeah, Heath said Face Off 2, Electric Boogaloo. I like it.
I do like that. I like that a lot.
I do like it.
Oh, maybe that's what we should start doing at like rallies. Everyone starts wearing fucking wearing those hats. So the guy falls.
Yeah. Oh, another one. I got 2 more for you.
Okay.
Disney's Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the reboot. Real thing that's happening. Very much like they did with with Alvin and the Chipmunks. They just released Tom and Jerry the movie. It's a very Space Jam, right? The original, where it's like half live action, half animated / CGI'd. So basically they're doing what was the other Smurfs? They did with Smurfs. They're doing a live action / CGI Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Now, I remember as a kid that it felt like Chippendale Rescue Rangers were a big deal. But looking back, were they ever really a big deal? Like on the level of like Alvin and the Chipmunks or Smurfs or any of the other ones that they've, remade?
I think so. You could one could make that argument.
Really?
I think as much as the Smurfs, easily as much as the Smurfs.
Really? Hey,
Yeah.
chat. I want to hear from you. Was Chippendale Rescue Rangers a big enough thing to like that you recall? Because like I remember, like for me, the Saturday morning cartoons were like like Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles and like what was it, Tailspin, and trying to like going way back. And those, I mean, you go way back. They had like what was the gummy bears? Not the gummy bears. The something bears. They bounced all the time.
Berenstein Bears?
Not the Care Bears, not the Berenstain Bears. No, there was like whatever. There was the Smurfs and those all that, but whatever.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck was good. And then Uncle Scrooge when he swam.
Oh yeah, DuckTales. They rebooted DuckTales. There was a recent reincarnation of DuckTales. I mean, it's still a cartoon, and it was just for a newer generation, which I heard it was good. I heard it was decent.
But I really think they're doing that in a way, like I said, nostalgia.
Yeah.
Kind of like, we can look at something we're just talking about now, DuckTales and the fucking, all of them, Darkwing Duck, all of those things, right?
Dude, I'm all in for Darkwing Duck, man. They bring Darkwing Duck back, I'm all in. I mean, don't screw it up though. Don't screw it up. It's classic.
Now you fucking sound like me, don't you?
just make it good. Just make it good.
Just make it good, dude.
Just make it
but
good.
Okay, like I mean, I remember watching those, and they were good. I mean, they were fine. I think, but when you talk, okay, back to your original question, I think they're all kind of on par with each other.
Yeah.
It's like I said, and I think Smurfs kind of fall in that category as well. I mean, I know they had a couple movies that shit on their own back then too, but not a whole lot. Nothing that was well received.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
I think Garfield got a live adaptation, and I mean, there's so much. There's just so much.
But I'm just saying, like, it's kind of nice to be able to reintroduce these characters to our children.
Yeah,
and I think that's part of it. But I mean, I think they are feeding off that nostalgia where we used to like these things, and now
we have money to buy things of those things. Yep. Heath says it beats the hell out of the Snorks. Oh my god, I remember the Snorks. Oh, that was terrible. It was like it was underwater. It was underwater Smurfs. That's what it was. It was underwater Smurfs. It was such a, even as a child, I was like, this is such a ripoff. This is terrible.
They could bring back Alf if they wanted.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think in what vein could they do it? Could they do it more or less family friendly than it used to be? Like, could they make it a little bit more edgy? You know what I mean? Because he used to always threaten about eating the cat, but what if they made a show where he actually ate the cat? Like, you don't see it, but like he totally did it. You know? Oh, bring back Tailspin. Yeah, Jim, I'm with you, man. Tailspin was the. Was this Nick says there's literally no reason ever for a live action Garfield.
But there's been a couple.
Scott, didn't the Rescue Rangers do a crossover with another show, or is that just my shitty memory? They call it the Mandela effect, right? Where it's like you remember something, but it didn't actually happen. It's funny because I think I want to say they did have a crossover, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But that's a good, we'll do some. I'll do some digging. We'll do some research. We'll get you an answer on that. So we got the Chippendales, Rescue Rangers, which I think nowadays you got to be careful when you talk about Chippendale. Like you don't want to get the wrong idea on that. Edward says a live action Jetsons. I could get on board with that.
No, I cannot.
You don't think so? I think given the
no,
right...
and I'm going to say why.
Why?
The Jetsons, right, gave us the idea that the future was going to be badass. That we'd have flying cars and fucking dishes and shit. Instead, we have people who don't know what bathroom to use. And so I think we really dropped. I really think if they're going to make something from the past more like the future. I think we're on the path of idiocracy, not
Right.
the Jetsons.
Right. I mean, here's
It's
the thing.
unfortunate, but I think as we look at those two different views of the future, I think idiocracy is more going to come true.
You know what I would say? I would totally watch. All right, follow me here. In the vein of what they've been doing with like Nancy Drew, Archie slash Riverdale, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where they've made all these edgy like CW gritty shows. I'd watch a live action Jetsons, but like a grittier take on it, where like they have to live in those. Remember the houses that were like they hovered over the clouds because the
Yeah.
earth has been so polluted and toxic. Only the richest of the rich live amongst the clouds, and like like do like a real edgy
Oh, and
version.
make them like the elites.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean.
Like,
And then
oh,
and yeah, I could get dude. We should write up a treatment for that, man. Submit that to Hollywood. I think it could be cool. I think it could
that
be
could be.
cool. Like
I
oh,
don't hate where you're going.
I don't hate it. That's a glowing recommendation.
That is.
Scott,
That's
hey,
a-
Scott says it too. Jetsons 2100, but it's dark and post-apocalyptic. Yeah, man. I could yeah. I could totally get down. The mom had the daughter when she was like 16 and gorgeous. And and George was in his 20s. Yeah, that's yeah, they could cross some lines there. Nick with Reboot. Who remembers Reboot? That was a pretty cool show, man. That was like everybody wants to give credit to like Toy Story as being like the first CGI, thing, but I think Reboot was like one of the OG like computer like now, if you looked at it now, it was, it was so bad. But I remember seeing it and just thinking like, "Whoa, this is the future." Like, oh, computer graphics, like it was so cool. Um but yeah, no, I dig it, man. I dig it. Yeah. Man, I kind of excited about like a Jetsons like CW gritty, kind of like it's the elites versus, the underdwellers, and it's like on the surface it's all nice and shiny, but like there's a mysterious dark underbelly. Um yeah, man. They should do a Dune remake. A Dune remake on the remake, or a reboot sequel spin-off of the remake of Dune. Which one? And then finally, the last one I'll talk about as far as again, the list goes on, but the last one I'll mention is there's reportedly a spin-off in development of a show that hasn't come out yet. All right? That's where we're going. Jetsons meet Soylent Green. Yes. Yes. So, like it's like Snowpiercer. Yeah, I just had the thought like Snowpiercer. If you saw the movie about how like it's the upper crust and all of that, like a Jetsons version future of like Snowpiercer. Yeah. Anyway, so Hawkeye, the series for Disney Plus, currently in development, currently shooting, introduces a character that people would be very familiar if they're familiar with the comic book. The character called Echo, the deaf character, who takes over the Ronin persona and for a while does like the Daredevil persona, does a bunch of different things. But either way, we already knew that Hawkeye was in the series. We already knew that Kate Bishop, the future Hawkeye, is in the series. They also reported that this actress is going to be playing Maya, who is Echo. And now apparently everybody's in love. Like all the people behind the scenes, the developers, the production guys, like they're in love with the character. They think she's gonna be a standout character, and they're already in development of a spin-off of the Hawkeye show just for her, for Echo's character. So we've gone so far into reboots and spin-offs that we're now spinning off the sequel of a show that hasn't even finished filming yet. So there you have it, guys. We're the snake eating the tail at this point. We've gone full circle, and now they're going to start rebooting sequels that are currently in production. So yes, and Edward says Snowpiercer. Yeah. So there was a movie, Snowpiercer, and then there's also the TV show that they're doing. What was that? Not CW. I can't think of what channel it's on. I can see it in my mind. FX? No, not on FX. I don't know. It's Snowpiercer. Look it up. It's there.
It's dumb. So about it.
Yeah.
All right, then.
But yeah. So those are all like the movie products. I did have one more that I wanted to mention, and this goes into TV land. And one where I'm optimistically excited about it, or no, cautiously. That's the word. Cautiously optimistic about it. All right, you ready for this one?
Yes, I am.
It's a show. It's a TV show that ended in 2010. It is. There's definitely a love-hate. Like, people are either like super into it or kind of don't really care about it. It is an animated show. It is King of the Hill. Currently, okay. King of the Hill, there is a revival negotiation going underway. And basically the idea behind it, and this is coming straight from one of the writers, Brent Forrester, and also the creators, Greg Daniels and Mike Judge, that they're currently in negotiations to bring back the show for a revival. And this is not a reboot. This is not a spinoff. This is the closest thing to say this is it's a sequel. And it will jump 15 years later. So even though it's been 11 years since it was on the air, this will jump 15 years into the future. So obviously all the characters are 15 years older. And they said the Trump administration made it suddenly very relevant again. This show, it made it very relevant again. And that they currently have a script and everything, and the project is so, that many O's, good, but they can't say anything more at the time. Take it with a grain of salt, obviously, because negotiations can always fall by the wayside. There was actually a time when they pitched a revival a couple years ago, and Fox didn't pick it up. And this was also right around the time of the Disney merger when Disney bought Fox. So like that was all up in the air. And so it wouldn't have, whatever. Who knows how it would have worked out anyway, even if they did pick it up. But now that would make King of the Hill a Disney property. Because it was owned by Fox, and now Disney owns Fox. So there's a version where, what was her name? Leanne? Leanne could be a Disney princess.
Yep. That's hilarious.
Her Bobby. Fuck it. Make Bobby. Bobby's a Disney princess now.
Bobby's a Disney princess.
Damn it, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby.
That's fun.
So there is a future, a possible, we're talking multiverse and possible timelines. There is a possible future where King of the Hill is back on the airwaves, 15 years showtime and 11 years real time, that it could be. Well, by the time it comes out, it could be 15 years. But yeah.
I don't hate it though. I didn't hate that show. I didn't hate King of the Hill. I wasn't as into it as some, I guess, but I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was one of those guys where I wasn't a big fan, like when it was first on the airwaves. It was much later that I kind of really got into it. I want to say it would have been 2012, 2013. So it was. I remember like hearing about the finale being in like on the show, and I was like, I never really liked it, and I caught it in syndication later and kind of got into it. Peter says, what about Futurama? Futurama is one of those shows that has come and gone so many times. It's dead. Right now, it is completely dead, but It's also been reborn like 6 times and then left again and then came back as a movie and then came back to as a sequel to the movie, then went back on the air. It's very much like Family Guy. For everybody that loves Family Guy and thinks it's this longest, it's been canceled twice and brought back twice. So I mean, it could come back. It can come back. Scott says, hear me out. Bobby gets abducted by aliens and ends up in the Star Wars universe.
It's like hanging out with Mandalorian.
I mean, it's some interesting fan fiction. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious, Scott. I want to hear where you're going with it. All right. I've got the premise. I want to flesh it out a little bit for me. I want to hear why. just why. Why? That's all I've got. Why is this? All right, moving on. A couple more stories, and then we're gonna call it a night, folks. This one people might feel a certain way about. All right, I'm gonna switch over to gaming news. Which, you know what? Screw it. I'll bring up the graphic, even though you can't hear it, you can't see it. I don't got any pictures. Doesn't matter. So there you go. Gaming news. Here's the thing. You know what I can do? I can actually do this. Take out the split screen. Oh no. That didn't work. Why is everything broken? Anyway, screw it. We'll fix it in post. It's fine. So
you do that when it's live.
Oh man. So PlayStation guys who are PlayStation, I hate to say fanboys because that sounds so horrible, but if you're into PlayStation, pay attention. Because starting very soon, later this year, we don't know when yet. Actually, no, screw that. I have the date. August 31st. Starting August 31st, Sony has announced that the video rental / purchasing service on the PlayStation Network is being shut down. So if you rent your movies on the PlayStation Network, if you buy your movies on the PlayStation Network, that's done. You start looking for somewhere else to go. Kevin says, I'm inside my PlayStation right now. There you go. So if you purchase your stuff through the PlayStation service, they are shutting it down. The company basically said that because of the rise of streaming services, there's no need for them to do it. They basically said, look, it's not a sustainable service for us because, people go to iTunes, they go to Vudu, they go to Netflix, they go to all these stuff. Most of their traffic uses the apps of those services on the PlayStation Network. Not enough people are buying or renting movies directly on them, so they're just shutting down the whole service. So that goes for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 consoles. The whole system is being completely shut down. Now, they did say if you in the past have purchased an item, a movie, let's say, I don't know, Toy Story 2. You purchased it on PlayStation. If you will always have access to that content. Basically, they're going to shut down the service of buying more, but that will stay in your library forever. So if you wanna dig up Toy Story 2 and watch it, you'll be able to past August 31st. But so for those of you that use the PlayStation Network to do that stuff, sorry about it.
Sorry about it.
You're not gonna do it anymore. And in other Sony news that just came out today, they're reportedly closing the online stores for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation Portable this summer. So if you're still using a PlayStation 3, you're still using a Vita, or using a PlayStation Portable, as of this summer, you won't have access to the online store anymore. So if you purchased your stuff digitally, those are getting sent. So it seems to me PlayStation's kind of bringing it in, right? They're circling it up. They're circling the wagons. They're starting to they're cutting off the limbs, right? The unnecessary branches. They're starting to break them off and shake them loose. So sorry about it. If you're into the PlayStation stuff, if you're on the PlayStation 3 and you're still buying your stuff digitally, I got nothing for you. Switch to Xbox.
Right. But this makes me kind of I'm thinking this as you're going through this, like, they're kind of really fucking these guys over a little bit. But maybe, I don't think that the new PlayStation release has gone as well as they'd hoped.
Mm.
I think that's kind of been an issue with them. But I mean, honestly, kind of it doesn't look good for Sony and their PlayStation.
I mean, I think every company is struggling right now. Let's be honest. I mean, with COVID.
Honestly, how the fuck a thing that's designed to be used in your home and has trapped hundreds of thousands of people in their home on its own before the coronavirus.
Right.
How can that not be successful at this point in time?
Right. But let's look at the flip side of it. Just before console launch, all this happens, right? Where do all the pieces come from? China. China. They come from there. And so that led to the underproducing and not being able to hit the quota. So that undervalues the system, right? They can't get enough sold. Then all the developers, all the people that have to go into their office to work on this game system because they don't have giant rigs building video games at home. Like where maybe me and you could work from home, right? If we're answering phone calls or responding to emails, these guys, they're building gaming video games, have these massive rigs at their studios. And so because of COVID, all these gaming studios were put on pause. So that's why so many games were delayed, or you want to blame why Cyberpunk was so bad on COVID. I mean, go for it. But
we're doing that now. That's what we're doing.
I'm just saying, like there was a not nearly as bad. So right where let's be realistic. Restaurants hit the worst, and local mom and pop shops hit the worst. But we're pop culture warrior here, so in the realm of pop culture, comic books stop being printed. You would think, oh, these guys paint at home. Like I know for a fact, nobody goes into Marvel headquarters anymore to do stuff. They do their shit at home on their tablets. They email the stuff in. The only guys at the office are like editors and publicists and things doing business deals. All that stuff can be done at home. Well, why did comic books stop being worked? Well, because who's running the printing presses, right? Who's delivering them to the stores, and what stores are open to even sell the comic books? So that industry got hit hard. Movies, I mean, obviously, movies and TV, obvious. We don't even have to talk about that. But yeah, something as simple as video games got hit really hard by all this shutdown because the companies that make it, the companies that produce it and market it and sell it, and haven't been able to work. And they've been doing the best they can from, mobile home offices and things, but it did definitely take a hit. Definitely took a hit. I mean, it is what it is. By the way, Nick says, thank God I'm still able to watch MacGruber, my one and only PlayStation movie purchase. There you go, man. MacGruber. You'll be able to watch that as long as you have a PlayStation account. You'll be able to watch that movie. God bless. Kevin said, if you have ever owned a PlayStation Vita, you've probably been to rehab. That's that is not the views and opinions of this host. I'm just reading the comments.
Oh yeah, you can't even play that. any views or opinions stated or of that person, and none of WTF Nation Radio.
Exactly. No, I'm not. No, that's not my view. Leah says, I have a Vita and burn movies in MP4 format and watch them on my Vita when trialing.
Maybe it's traveling.
Traveling, yeah. Way too literal. What was the Anchorman? I read what's on the prompt. I read it exactly. As it comes across the teleprompter. She says trialing, so she does it whenever she's trialing. Yes, is obviously traveling. All right, something else news. This is a story that got me excited. One of my all-time favorite games, that's, obviously not some big budget AAA title, whatever, Skate. I mean, everybody loves Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but to me, Skate was the game that made me a fan of skateboarding and what they can do. So EA has announced that they acquired a new studio called Full Circle. It's a Vancouver-based studio, but it also has, it's globally connected, whatever. They will be the team behind the next Skate sequel. Now, They haven't said, is this going to be Skate 4, right? Because we left off on Skate 3. Or is it going to be completely a reboot the way they did Call of Duty Modern Warfare all over again? So it could be just Skate. Or it could be something else. Who knows? But EA confirmed that Full Circle will be led by David McCulloch, who is the former head of Xbox Live at Microsoft. There's also returning the producers, Darren and Cuz, remain on the board, having appeared in the Skate sequel announcement back EA Play 2020. Let's see what else. Full Circle, the studio, joins EA Sports and Respawn Entertainment as the third EA studio in the Canadian city. So we don't know exactly like when is it coming. We don't know what's in store for us. We don't know what's going to be had or the focus or all that. But the fact that it's in production or it's in development has me super excited because I love Skate. I will buy it. I don't care. Just make it good. And I will buy it. I will absolutely buy it.
Suck.
Make it not suck. Let's see. You guys are funny in the chats, man. I love it. Keep it up. I love it. What else? There's a couple stuff. A bit of sad news. So I had this under my kind of like WTF category. A bit of sad news is that recently it was announced that Toys R Us was going to be relaunching. Just a couple months ago, they were going to relaunch, or I should say a year ago, they were planning to relaunch. Obviously, because of the whole COVID stuff, all the relaunch stores are closing. And so they had opened the November prior to kind of COVID hitting. And yeah, this was 2019, November 2019. The stores opened. There were locations in Houston, Texas. There was locations in New Jersey. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic, and obviously you can't relaunch a store that you can't open, the Toys R Us rebrand, relaunch is officially dead. So apparently, though, news is circulating that a new company has come in. I copied it here. So this is officially, they closed their doors. It was like January, February of this year. They finally closed their doors. Now, what was announced was that part of the intellectual property. So basically, this new company, I'm trying to find the name of it. It's like True Kids or something like that. It's the company that owned all of the different brands. They've been bought out, and this new company is saying they're gonna try to relaunch, rebrand, reopen all the Toys R Us. So, they call it the quintessential, like, this is a brand that you can trust, that it has value, so they're gonna try to relaunch it again. And the idea that they pitched, which I kind of like it, is that it's going to be almost like instead of aisles of toys, there's going to be just kind of bigger areas where you'll actually get to play with the things, almost like test them out. So like you can bring your kid there and see, get their hands on it and see if they would like it, So I don't know. I think it's a cool idea.
I don't hate it.
I was a Toys R Us kid.
Of course you were.
I don't want to grow up, as if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. Yeah, see, I got it.
Yeah, you should got it.
Was it from bikes to planes to video games?
Good thing they went out of fucking business.
I don't know. I remember the rest of it, but it was a cute song.
No, it's a good thing they went out of business. So we can quit fucking saying that. Bye, see ya.
Bye, see ya. And lastly, one last little segment is just that speaking of, like, this is the episode of like reboots, revitalizations. On top of Toys R Us trying to come back, triumphant return of a store that I never thought I'd see again. Radio Shack. Radio Shack is back. It is back, and it is all digital. There's no plans to make a physical location. But right now, after the show, go ahead and type in RadioShack.com. There is an active website. They're on Amazon. They have their own website. You can buy things from Radio Shack right now. This company went bankrupt back in 2015 and then again in 2017, and they're back. They're back. They're celebrating their 100th birthday this year. And the funny thing is, I did a little digging. Apparently, there are still 400 locations open across the country. And this has nothing to do with like the revitalization of the company. They're just remnants of like the Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 2017. Like they'll just never closed. I guess they do enough business.
Fuck it, we'll stay open for a bit, see what happens.
They just don't have to like pay franchise fees. Like the company went out of business, but like shit, the sign's up, so we'll just turn the lights on, and I don't know.
We'll just keep showing up.
Yeah, we'll just keep showing up for work. It's like there's apparently like one Blockbuster left in the world, still open, still renting videos. But yeah, so
it's manned by that dude from Office Space. He just like they fired years ago. He decided they fucking left.
Yeah, just decided I'm gonna stay in it. So RadioShack.com, man. Check it out. They also have an Amazon store. I took a look and there was absolutely nothing that I would buy from there. I mean, it's just if you remember what a Radio Shack was like, that's the digital equivalent of what it is now. It's like random parts.
Does it smell bad,
and
like when you open it smells kind of like burning electronics, like somebody
yes.
like just
your computer starts to malfunction as soon as you open RadioShack.com. No, they just sell a bunch of like spare parts and weird batteries and just
on there right now. Just fun of them. Just RadioShack.com.
Yeah, RadioShack.com, man. Pull it up. Tell us what you see.
Well, it's not even on the first page of the fucking Google search.
No, that can't be right.
Well, hold on. Let me go. Radio Shack. I googled RadioShack.com, right?
Well, I mean, just type in RadioShack.com.
Yeah, I don't. That's too much work, right? But here, this is how relevant they are to their own fucking
brand.
Okay. Obviously, it's Google. So the first thing is Amazon. Shop electronic accessories at Amazon.com.
Sure.
And then some Radio Shack online. But it says discount99.us Radio Shack online.
I mean,
so it's not the same. It's like it's the one that takes like wish.com or some shit. Then it goes to Best Buy Home Audio, shop now and save. Tritronics online store. Buy Radio Shack products at Zoro.com. And then you have to get almost to the bottom of the first page. You actually go past the Radio Shack Wikipedia before you get to RadioShack.com home/Facebook or whatever, Facebook.com page. And then it is the actual Radio Shack page. And the first thing they are they're selling for their wares is an HDMI to RF coaxial converter. Who the fuck needs that? Just plug your HDMI cord into your fucking computer, or into your monitor or your television. But no, we don't do that. We shop at Best Buy. So I want to be able to hook up something to my tube TV that's still in my basement.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to do a terrible job at this, but I'm trying to get the web page to open so everyone can see this.
They have double A batteries.
There we go. That's you can see. There you go. Is it RadioShack.com, and you can see there's some a retro Radio Shack T-shirt for $24.
Yeah, I saw that. It's actually kind of neat. Did you see that they have coax extension adapters?
But who's buying analog AM FM portable radios?
Hey, that is a weather radio, sir. So that would be helpful if you're camping. They have a stereo headset for $49.99.
Yep. Kevin says everything runs off D batteries. Everything has a crank. Oh man.
Hey, there's a CB. They have a CB there for $299. ZD glowing LED magic flying ball. It looks just like a drone, but it's a ball. So
my God.
there's that.
No, there's great comments coming in. Nick, they're gonna freak out when someone actually buys something, and then like, how do we send this? We didn't think somebody was gonna purchase something.
Probably send it by the Pony Express or something.
If one of you buys something on this right now, you're gonna triple their sales quota. Like they're gonna be like, what the hell? Where'd this spike come from? Yeah. Batteries, apparel, like
a Radio Shack adapter plug. All right then.
Yeah.
I don't know what it adapts what to, but they have an adapter plug.
Hey, if you buy $99 worth of stuff, you get free shipping. There you go.
Fucking serious? You spend $100 this place?
$100 to get free shipping.
I spend $20 this place. I don't even know what I'll fucking buy.
So,
ooh, they have a digital handheld weather radio.
Just hey, but their Skull Candy wireless in-ear headphones are sold out. So sorry, guys. Sorry about it.
They got one in on accident, and someone actually bought it.
the one they found in a storage unit. They sold it. It's sold out. This thing, this is the little warm LED. I've been wanting to get a light like this, where it's like this corner stand light, but I'm not paying $140 for a lamp. I'm sorry about it. I'm not spending $140.
Actually, you know what? I did find something that
I know what it is. It's this projectable Star Wars Mandalorian plugin. That's what you want.
That is kind of one. No, there's a HDMI or right angle adapter. I actually kind of want a couple of those for my computer.
Oh yeah, those are actually handy.
That is actually handy. But you know what? Problem with it is though, it goes down. I need it to go up to go to my monitors. My monitors are not below my tower.
Could you just flip it upside down?
Well, I mean, it's HDMI, so it does only go in one way. But
you gotta get the one that has like the bendy one. Kevin says, "Look like a good place to get tech for your grandparents." Yes, yes. Oh man,
it's the internet for today.
Radio Shack needs to sell. You're not wrong, brother. Radio Shack needs to sell Xboxes and PlayStations. Yeah, right. I don't think they know what those are. So, but yeah, you can buy a 32-inch 720p smart TV, $169. Like, there you go, guys. You're welcome.
You know what though? Hey, I'm gonna make a comment on this.
Go ahead.
So, my daughter had her birthday actually yesterday. We have a present for her. You know, we got her TV for her room, right? We got her like I don't know, about that size, 32-inch TV. I think it might have been a 36 or something.
I see the right angle one you're talking about, by the way. I dig it.
Yeah, kind of handy, but it goes the wrong way. But anyway,
couldn't you just what?
Can I what? It's
okay.
a USB, dude. You can't turn it upside down.
No, I see what you're saying. That you need it to go up.
Yes.
I mean, couldn't you just? I don't know.
Can I just what? Run my
plug it in.
down and
Yeah, you just rug it and then it just loops back up.
Well, that sounds dumb. I'll just keep it going straight out the back then.
Real quick, I'll tell you, they do have the ones that like they have a pivot point, so like it can actually bend both ways, so it can go down or up. You gotta find the one that has like the pivot, swivel.
Anyway,
talk
about the pivot, man. Okay, so we bought my daughter a television for her room,
right?
And go buy the TV. Go to Walmart. That's where you buy electronics now, because fuck Radio Shack. But anyway, so we buy her TV. We get home, and she opens it up, and we plug it in and stuff, and it's fucking broken right out of the fucking box.
Ooh, like broken, like the screen is broken, or broken like it doesn't work.
All fucky. It's all fucktard, and gross and weird. But okay, better that than the alternative. When we all know fucking Baby Radar is in Germany, right? Private Radar hanging out in Germany. Grafenvor or whatever, right?
Grafenvor.
Okay. Yeah. His fucking birthday, right? December 3rd. Okay. I got on AFES online and I ordered him a television, right?
Okay.
I told him, go to the fucking PX, pick out the TV you want, and I will buy it online. Okay. So he did that. He's standing there in the fucking PX, right? Takes a picture of it I'm on my computer and I'm on AFES and I'm like, I want this TV. So I got that TV for him, right? And it says, we'll let you know I did ship to store because it's Germany. So I figured, well, they'll just call in a day and you can pick up the one that's on the fucking shelf. Right. No, that's not how AFES does it. It's not like fucking Walmart where you just go get the one that's in the store. No, they had to ship one to him. Okay. So that was December 3rd. I ordered it. Okay. Last fucking week, dude, it was like the middle of March. He finally got his fucking TV that I bought in December from AFES. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And there's one sitting on the goddamn shelf. They're like, oh no, you can't have that one. You gotta have the one they ship from fucking wherever, apparently Mars.
They had to build it in China and then send it to him.
Yeah, and they had to sit in quarantine probably for a fucking month or some shit. I don't fucking know, but hey, this is a community of veterans, right? Fuck you, AFES. I'm so goddamn mad at them. Might as well just give him pogs. I should have bought it with all the fucking pogs I found in my my black box.
Oh my god, those things.
I bought 300 fucking pogs.
Nick in the chats, man, is killing it today. Came in with another banger. This is, speaking on the Radio Shack page, this is a good emergency page for when I have to quickly close out of OnlyFans.
Yes.
Look, I'm just looking at transistor radios,
Yeah. Oh, this is the gold-plated dual inch and an eighth.
Yeah. Cord. You're like, man, that's a nice pair right there. What? Just a pair of headphones. There's a Radio Shack one for $49.99. Great pair.
Here's the Radio Shack that I remember. Contexio T1 RC Racing Speedboat for $79.99.
Ayo. That's what she said. All right, guys. Well, shit. That's all I got for you tonight. This was a whole hell of a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for participating. Absolutely fantastic. You guys are awesome.
I have an idea. I want before you close this out. Okay?
Yeah.
We got some people still in the chat.
Let's do this.
With us.
What's up?
Or not interacting with us. We should do this. Okay. Pick a website.
Yep.
Every fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
And get on it and like make fun of all their shit. I think this should be a new segment on the show.
I banged into my desk.
I really think we should do this.
So much for sponsorships, I guess.
We want to get a sponsorship from fucking.
I mean, God forbid.
Radio Shack sponsored our show.
Hey, give us? Let me tell you something. Radio Shack, you listening? I got you, bro. I got you. I love the products.
You're gonna send me the Mandalorian fucking light for your.
Hey, I will plug that shit in with the quickness. Hey, I'm already wearing the red, man. I just need like sponsored by Radio Shack.
In all fairness, I did find their D batteries.
There you go. There you go. But hey, speaking of what's on tap, I don't know. That was just a crazy segue. Radar, you wanna? Yes. Do you still remember how to tell the audience what they've won?
Well, they have just won almost 2 hours with CQ and Radar Tuesday night. Fucking Pop Culture Warrior you have been listening to. And now tomorrow is a Donza Day of no scheduled activities. It is a nothing. We have a day off. It's Wednesday. We'll probably go to church and stuff. That's the kind of guys we are. And then Thursday, you have Lawrence time. Ice, Spanky, Sergeanting, right? Everything active duty, reserve, National Guard, retiree, anything has to do with the Army, they're going to bring it to you. I imagine there'll probably be some talk about the new ACFT rules that they have changed and are changing and continue to change. And it's a good spot. I think people are still bitching about beards. We can't have them yet. Sorry about it. Then Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. Good show. Go check them out. You guys will enjoy it. Promise. Then Saturday and Sunday, much like most people have the weekend off, so do we. Donza's Monday. Coming back, Monday edition with Ice and Flash. They will be talking about some big stuff, little stuff, current events. I think they've got some big stuff on tap, though. So keep an ear to the ground with that one. It's going to be exciting. And then you'll circle back around to us on Tuesdays.
Circle back around. Real quick, credit where credit's due. Nick, we're gonna have a conversation, me and you. How dare you, sir? He recommended next week's page for your segment is the Pop Culture Warrior swag shop. Sir, I will have you know, I'm offended. How dare you, sir? How dare you? There is quality merch in that shop. Guys, go check out the swag shop, Pop Culture Warrior, streamelements.com/Pop Culture Warrior. Anyway,
I thought we were going to do a giveaway sometime.
Here's the deal. We're 49 episodes in. 49. Yes. I figure 52 marks kind of a year, right? If it's a weekly episode.
Ish. Yeah, but we've missed a few.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. 52 episodes constitutes a year of a year's worth of the show. So yeah, maybe for 52, we do a big giveaway because I have like a crap ton of stuff that like it's just been sitting, collectible stuff, and
why don't we do this? Hear me out on this one.
What's up?
Instead of one big giveaway, why don't we do like a couple smaller ones and like see if we can get people like maybe do some like as you're listening giveaways.
I mean, who's covering all this shipping? I figure I can ship one thing out. I gotta ship out a bunch of little things now.
Just
you pay for shipping. I'll send you shit. You pay for shipping.
Well, you're gonna ship it to me so I can ship it out. Doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I'm saying the person that wins. The person that wins. You pay for shipping, and I'll send you stuff.
It's not really a win, is it?
You're getting free stuff.
Anything big, like send them a sticker or something.
Remember the whole thing. Like you can get 12 CDs for 1 cent. You just got to pay for shipping and handling. You know, like you got 12 CDs. You just have to pay the $5 for shipping, whatever it was. Yeah. Anyway, no, yeah, I'm gonna put some thought into it. For real. I'm gonna put some thought into it. I definitely want to do some giveaways because I have so much stuff collected up that it makes my wife crazy that I have boxes of stuff.
From our people are like QVC.
Listen, I'm gonna sell you this thing for $9, not for $10, not for $9, not for $8. It's free. Anyway,
shipping and handling.
You guys,
we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
Yes, you guys have been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, WTF Nation Radio on Facebook, like the Pop Culture Warrior page. Lots more updates. We have some really, really cool stuff coming. Like, I haven't been allowed to talk about it because, things are hush-hush and, the NDAs and, thing we can't say what is what. But some really cool stuff is coming down the pipe. Really, really cool. I think I can say... I don't want to get in trouble. One of the really cool things I'm excited about that's coming is... If you guys know about a game called 6 Days in Fallujah, there's a huge story about it or behind it about what happened and how it was developed to be based on real events, and then it got canceled because people were all butthurt about it, and then now it's back. They're finally showing some stuff about it. It looks incredible. There's so much I want to talk about it, but I'm saving it. Because, guys, we're going to have people behind the development team. We're going to show gameplay footage. We're going to get some behind-the-scenes looks. We're going to talk to the people that created. We're going to have them live here on the show very soon. We're ironing out the details. So that's going to be a super, super cool show to watch and be part of. You guys can ask questions and be part of it. And then we have a lot more other stuff in the works that, again, really excited for. Just can't say anything yet. I'm biting my tongue. But very cool stuff to show you guys very soon. So thank you guys as always for tuning in, being part of the show, being part of the family. Follow us on Facebook, follow us the station, and we'll keep bringing you guys the entertainment. Anything, Radar? Anything you guys to say?
Nah, so that's it from me.
That's it, guys. Well, I'll have the audio and the video working next week. That's a CQ guarantee. Because I know the boss is going to be mad at me for jacking up our systems.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if everything just went on without a hitch, this would be boring.
Yeah. Would it be Pop Culture Warrior if everything worked like it was supposed to? Would it be? Would it be? Would it be the ship of Theseus? Right? If we changed over. Whatever. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Pop Culture Warrior, on episode 49. Peace.
Bye, see you.
Shots.